Greetings, Algebra 1 students. We are in the middle of solving equations, and my hope for you is that you are really focused today and complete the activity. I wanted to make a video so that you could know what to do, because sometimes some of the directions are really unclear, and I wanted to make sure that you had a few examples before you did your work today. So at this point, you should have the yellow worksheet. We're going to do the first page, or most of the first page together at least. Just note that we are going to have the homework for the rest of this week will be collected and entered for a grade. This is going to go under the employability standard, which is the same one we use to check your binders. So if you're needing to get your grade up, this is a great opportunity. Just make sure that you turn in your homework when it's requested. If you're not here or absent, just turn it back in when you are here. I will know whether or not you were in class or not, so make sure that if you're here that you do the homework for today. So again, at this point, you should have the yellow worksheet, and if you don't, now would be the right time to get it. So you should see at the top it says no solution and infinite solution. This is sort of different from, it's very similar to what we've been doing, but there's some quirks to it as well. So in the past, when we go to solve a problem like this, and we're going to do these two together, hopefully you're following along and entering these into your notebooks, but when we're doing this particular problem, the first thing we would need to do is I see that I have a number multiplied by a parentheses. I need to distribute that to both of them. So negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x, and negative 4 plus 1 times positive 1 is going to be negative 4. And then we're going to copy down everything else. So the equal sign just comes down, equals the negative 8x comes down, and so does the negative 2. I'll give you just a moment, or pause the video so that you get an opportunity to write this down. Please pause the video to write this down. Okay, hopefully you have this written down. My next step would be to move my x's all to the same side, and I see that I could either move this one over, or I could subtract on both sides, or excuse me, add 8x on both sides and move this one over. I might go ahead and do that. But when we do that, I'm going to add 8x here. I'm going to add 8x here. Notice that when I combine the like terms, this term, negative 8x plus 8x, they actually cancel out. They cancel out, and I'm left with negative 4 equals, those also cancel out, and then I'm left with a negative 2. So notice here, this is never ever true. Never true. And what this means actually is that there are no possible numbers that could work as a solution, so that when I enter something back in, like when we check our work, there is no number. X, we can't find a number. This is a never true statement. So we say if you get to this point where you have two things that they're never equal. Negative 4 is never equal to negative 2. We write no solution. And I'll highlight that. No solution. There is no solution to this equation. So pause the video, make sure you get all of this down. All right, hopefully at this point you have the no solution problem written down. I want to draw your attention here to the infinite solution problem. So we have no solution as a possibility, but we also have something called infinite solution. And that happens when we get something that is always true. So here this was never true. And when something happens that's always true, then we have infinitely many solutions. When you say there's an infinite solutions, meaning every number could work. So let's do this problem. I notice that I need to do some distribution first. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times negative 3x is negative 9x. And I'm going to just bring everything else down. Got this equal sign in here. I'm going to move my x's around. So I'm going to move all of my x's to the same side. So I'm going to add 9x to both sides of the equation. And those cancel. Those, interesting. Negative 5 is equal to 3 minus 8. Oh, 3 minus 8, well, we can simplify that. Negative 5 equals negative 5. This statement is always true. This statement is always true. And I want to highlight that this is an always true statement. Or maybe I should have highlighted it in green. I'll undo that. I'll highlight it in green. This statement is always true, right there. Because negative 5 is always equal to negative 5. And in this case, every number for a value of x could work. So we could have any solution. So if you get to a statement that's always true, like negative 5 equals negative 5, on our paper, we would want to write infinite solutions. And that would be our answer, because we can't find a value for x because there are infinitely many solutions. There are infinitely many solutions. So pause the video and make sure that you get this down in your worksheet, and we're going to do a couple practice problems in just a moment. So again, we're going to go over several of these problems, and notice that each one of these examples has some distribution. So there's distribution there, there's some distribution there, there's more distribution, even more distribution. So I think that distribution is going to be something that we really need to focus on today as well. But when we go distribute things, 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times 2 is 6. And then I'm copying down the negative 3x, copying down the equal sign, 6 plus 3x. And I'm going to try and bring the x's to the same, well, I think we have like terms, the 6x and the negative 3x. That ends up being 3x, and then the 6 comes down, the equal sign comes down, 6 plus 3x. And I'm starting to see that we've got the same thing on both sides. It looks like if I subtract a 3x from both sides, they cancel out. And then we get an always true statement. If we have always true, look at the top of this page for the example. If we have something that's always true, there are infinitely many infinite solutions to this particular problem, because 6 is always equal to 6. Moving on to the next problem really quickly, 6 times 2x, 6 times negative 6, so we've got 12x minus 36 equals negative 7 times negative 2. It's a double negative. Double negatives make a positive, so 14x. Negative 7 times positive 4, it's going to be negative 28. And I'm going to get my x's to the same side. I'm going to subtract 12. You could have totally done it a little bit differently. Negative 12x. And we go down, negative 36 equals 2x minus 28. And then I'm going to move the 28 over by adding 28 to both sides. So those cancel out. And negative 36 plus 28 is 8. Yeah. Negative 8. And then to finish this problem, I've got to divide both sides by 2. So my answer, negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. So negative 4 equals x. Oh goodness. This has an answer. The answer is x is negative 4. It's not an infinite solutions. It's not a no solutions problem. I'm going to have you finish up these problems on your own. And when you are done, make sure that you do the homework. Remember that the homework is for a credit. And I expect to see that in my hands on Monday. So complete the rest of this page for classwork. When you're finished, make sure that you start the homework. It will be collected and graded. I expect to receive a lot of names on my good behavior list, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Best of luck, and keep doing the good work that I know you can do.